All right, so here we are in Kuching. We've been here for about a day, and we just finished visiting the Bako National. It's a wildlife refuge. They take care of their babies, and they help sick and injured orangutans. At this point, we're on our way out to Bako National Park, and that is a park that requires you to take a boat into the park itself, and then when you're there, you can do all-day hikes and things like that. I'm hoping to do that from Bako to downtown Kuching is about a half an hour, and it's about that same distance from downtown Kuching to Bako. So about an hour, barring traffic delays and things like that.
Are you after the pink? Are you swimming? Oh, yeah. You have the permit?
The moment I arrived, they began to ask me about my filming permit. Playing dumb at the park headquarters has won me entrance more than a few times in the past. But that's when they're corrupt and easily bribed. How was I to know that you couldn't do that here? In knowing that I would have had to go through several weeks of permitting requests, with the emphasis on paying large amounts of fees for filming in this park, it came down to luck that I arrived at a time when the supervisor was not around to prevent my entry. When you show up here, just hide your camera, avoid the fee, and don't make a big production about it when you're in the park. So here we are, we're about to take the boat ride up. It is a giant pain in the ass trying to bring any kind of video equipment, but they're sticklers about it. They wanted 1,000 ringgit, plus I had to call about 20 government officials to be able to film here, but I'm tactful, so I think we might have prevailed. We'll see when we get down there. Bako is a very well-maintained, popular park that's only reachable by boat. Before you even arrive at the park, it's a great ride. The boat drives you through a river-bound neighborhood of sorts. As the river bends and winds, it reveals a splendid and breathtaking backdrop. And when you turn the final bend to navigate to the entrance of the park, the boat plies through the oddest collection of trees that once formed the banks of the Bako area. It's a lot like driving through a bog, except it's bright and sunny, and there's plush wildlife all around it. All right, here we are at the trailhead at the Bako National Park. The South China Sea surrounds us on all sides, and there's several trails to go through. We're actually going to hit the Pandan Besar trail next to the one that goes up to the beach by Cyle. It's supposed to be an hour and a half in and back, and it's supposed to be proboscis monkeys and all kinds of stuff. Let's go check it out. The reason that I took the Pandan Besar trail was because it was famed for its proboscis monkey sightings. But along the way, I ran into all manner of interesting oddities. Chief among them, oddly enough, was the relationship between the fauna and flora. This appears to be some sort of an external type of honeycomb type of thing, where bees are building some kind of a nest inside there. I'm not sure if it's sap from the tree or what. It's pretty wild looking. It's about the size of my hand. They look like they're pretty fierce little bugs. The trails here are well maintained. As you walk past the impending cliffsides and understory along the forest floor, you can see a continual focus on repair and maintenance on the walkways, which is necessary since washout is very common here in Borneo. The scientific name for Proboscis monkey, Nasalis lavartus, translates to nasal jester in Latin. And by the sight of them, it actually looks like they might have been onto something when they applied this name. Known in Bahasa Melayu as Bekantan, these arboreal primates are endemic to the island of Borneo and coexist with the Bornean orangutan. Malays also call them Monyet Belanda, which translates to Dutch monkey. It was a clever joke maintained by the natives, which referred to the tragically large noses and bellies of the Dutch colonizers. The first time I actually heard one of these large primates jumping from tree to tree, I looked up to see the entire canopy crashing into motion as it landed. It was something I definitely didn't expect. It was very exciting, almost like watching a National Geographic Explorer video. I wish I could have stayed there all day and had an opportunity to get better shots of these amazing leaps through the trees. But the budget simply didn't allow. If you watch closely, you'll see one of these aerobatic launches here. Proboscis monkeys are very fun to watch. It's not like watching a docile animal. They're very active. In fact, it's a lot like watching an undomesticated human. And there's this sense of intelligence about them that makes you very aware that they're completely at home and well adapted to these jungles. In much of the footage that I have of this time, there's a lot of camera shake and unsteadiness. When I look back at what I was able to capture, however, I'm generally happy. Because of the thick canopy making a clear view next to impossible, the heat making your muscles sore from holding up a heavy camera, the uneven terrain making it difficult to get good footing, and the frequent and fast movement of these animals, the odds are not stacked in your favor for coming away with decent shots. Moving on from the proboscis, we headed to the communal cafeteria to grab some lunch. While there, it became immediately evident that one must watch their food. The mischievous macaques had grown so bold over the years of tourists coming in and out of this place that they even invited themselves to the dinner table. Scampering off, they would munch on their trappings in full view of the patron, as if to announce their accomplishment in a display of pride. There's little question as to why these animals choose to return to this place that was once their home, especially since it now allows for so many opportunities for selective dining. As I sat and ate, and watched the impressive assortment of animals come from the jungle into the grounds area of the shallots, I overheard people talking about how disgusting or unhygienic it was for these animals to be, quote-unquote, allowed here where people eat. And I thought of how audacious and ignorant someone must be to make a statement like that. After all, the very place she's sitting and eating was taken from these animals, their habitat chopped down, its lumber used to raise the roof and build a resort-style hotel on the ground that had been destroyed for that very purpose. And I thought to myself, if anyone shouldn't be allowed here, it's us. And perhaps we'll learn before all of these animals have been pushed to the brink of extinction. But the signs are certainly not showing a pattern of heading in that direction. These were my many thoughts as we left Bako and headed back to the mainland. While at Bako, I was honored to have seen such prevalent and active wildlife. But the sad truth is that the reason the wildlife is so available here is because there are only few places left where the animals have been forced to live. Bako is just one of the few sanctuaries, if that's what you can call the area surrounding the shallots, where they can go. It's a very raw and bittersweet way to experience the immensity of the wildlife here. But what's even more profound is the notion that there would likely be an even greater diversity of species here if humans had not placed money, oil, and politics before the rights of all plants and animals to exist as freely as we expect to live.